Welcome to Custom Home Builder Solutions video tutorials for CHS on the web. Please make this full screen for best viewing. This video will be a final, I think, video about payroll, posting payroll in CHS on the web. And this is going to be about using the payroll database that stores all of the records that you've posted to payroll and how to get information from your big payroll database in CHS after you've done all of the things that we had in previous videos about posting journal entries, or if you have prior payroll from CHS before it was on the web. All of that will be in your big payroll database. In the last video we went over some quick reports that we could get just from the payroll menu itself, but let's go ahead and click to open the great big payroll database that will show you all records that you've posted to payroll. Now you've noticed this is our little demo thing, but you might have several thousand records over the years of posting your payroll. So this, to have it open faster for you, will load 100 records at a time so that it can get opened for you so you can do your search in case you're not interested in having thousands of records show here. But just for information, as you scroll down, you'll see this little whirligig going because it's loading 100 more records as you scroll. Most of the time you won't be scrolling until after you've done your search, so that's why it says as you scroll and the list more will load, and it's best to search first. So you can search this database for just all kinds of things. These are called selection boxes, and if you'll notice up here it says to only see records affecting employee paychecks, and by that I mean ones, so you're only seeing the paycheck records and not all of the records that have to do with matching and Social Security expense, etc. It says select category types wage through addition deduction, which means I'm going to click on this and hold down my left mouse key and slide just to include these so that I can see stuff that is just on paychecks and not all the stuff about the matching expenses for the employer. Now let's just say I'm interested in April Smith. Let's just do a simple one, and I'm just interested in the month of January 2015. And I just want to see information about her paychecks in this big database. So I'm going to search for that. Now if you'll notice, now there's only 9 records because we had 2 paychecks. We had one on January 15th and one on January 31st. The total of all of these would be the net that was paid to her during that time. Let's just search for the one on the 31st. How about that? And you can get quicker reports on the payroll menu of this, but if you want to see how this payroll database is getting various records for you, get a total of their wage hours, etc. by paycheck, you can, and then you can produce some reports that make it easier to look at all of this. You'll see here that we show the regular pay, less federal, less Medicare, and the total, and only the wage line will have hours that you applied to it, and it'll total those hours for you there on that particular report. This ledger, let's go ahead and go back and get all of our employees. So let's just slide down through these and search. And maybe we will go ahead and just do the whole month again, and we'll search. And it is much easier to look at the reports than it is to look at this database, but first of all you need to get your searched records. But let's look at this ledger grouped by category for the month of and you can see that I selected the month of January if you pay attention to what these filters are here, and what employees I selected and what payroll category types I selected. But now you'll see that this particular report is grouped by category. So here's the total regular pay paid to all employees during the month. This could be really useful if you selected a quarter for getting some information that you need for your 941 reports, etc. You can see that. It shows the total during the time period that I selected for how much was withheld for federal withholding, for Social Security withholding, and for Medicare withholding, and then some other various things that were attached to the checks. So if you run one of these for the quarter and you're doing your own payroll and a payroll service isn't doing it, this particular report by payroll category for a range of dates, and then just using the information that applies to the payroll, to the employee's paycheck, can be very useful. If you want to do a ledger grouped by job, you will need to actually search not for those categories that we asked for, but for the none category, because the entries that are posted out to jobs actually don't really have anything to do with their net paychecks and their pay. It's an additional couple of entries that get created to post your stuff to job cost. So let's just search for the none category. And how about if we just search for jobs that are not equal, and that's how you do not equal, or you can do an exclamation point equals type thing. There's some tips down here about that. For not equal to, it's exclamation point. It's very weird, but this means not equal to, and I'm going to say not equal to H. And I'll search for that and see what happens. So now all I have is records that were posted to jobs and their cost codes, etc., because I'm interested in that. You know, how much was posted during this period to jobs. And if I do a report ledger group by job, then you'll see this amount was posted to test 2 and this amount posted to test 3 during that period that I selected. And I didn't have to select employees. I might have just left those alone for that particular report. The ledger grouped by quarter, we'll go back and undo what we did here. Let's do no selection so that we get all employees. And let's go back to wage, these particular ones that only relate to the actual paychecks, and do a search. I probably left, oh, I needed to get my job thing out of, I can also clear all these search fields and start over, but I'll just delete that right there so I'm not limiting it to the H job. And then we'll do a search, and then we'll do a report, ledger grouped by quarter. And if I'd narrowed this down to just the payroll category for wages, you'll start seeing things by quarter for each employee here, and it'll group it by the quarter, the total regular pay for the whole quarter. And since we just did January and etc., let's go ahead and just say we want to see the wages for that quarter, because that can be very useful. So let's do wage. And we do just have January entries, but once you have a full quarter of entries, the gross wages by employee for each quarter, the amount that is wages for each quarter, can be very useful for some various reports, especially your unemployment reports that you might have to file. So this would be very useful for that. Hopefully this video gives you an idea of the various things that you can search for and how to do it. You can also, if you do, let's just do this one, and let me mention that most all of these reports you can send to Excel so that you can do your own work with that. For these quarterly ones, you might print one for a quarter, and then you might print one for a year to date. Like if it was the end of March 31st, you might do one for, June, let's say. You might do one from January 1st to June 30th, and that would give you your year-to-date pay for these people. And you do one for the quarter, and that would give you your quarter information for the people if you did just that wage category type. So you should be able to figure out how to get the data and the information out of this that you might need if your payroll service is not just going ahead and doing some of those reports I was mentioning for you, which would be much easier than you doing it yourself, and takes the worry out of your life if you let a payroll service do this. But you can search CHS and get data information that you need about your payroll and your employees. Thank you for watching.